I bought a female fox spirit. The owner repeatedly warned me she only helps with getting rich, not intimacy. Within a year, my net worth hit 100 million. But then, things got weird. Didn't she say she would never show herself? Why is she always clinging to me now? By the time I rushed over, only one female fox spirit was left. The shop owner warmly brought her out. She had a smoking hot body and a face so soft it looked like it could melt. But she was incredibly cold. She didn't even look up at me. The owner glared at her, then smiled apologetically at me. This is the last fox spirit, so I will give you 90% off. Cheap things are usually garbage. This fox demon shop only opens once a year, specializing in gorgeous human form spirits who know how to please. I was under so much stress lately and just wanted some fun. 90% off. Could it be that this fox spirit doesn't know how to please customers? Seeing my hesitation, the owner explained that her training went a bit off course. While the others learned how to please people, she only studied how to make money. Don't you humans always wish to get filthy rich? She can make that happen, become incredibly wealthy. My heart skipped a beat. If she is that great, why is she still here? The owner rubbed his hands awkwardly and confessed she was sold before, but those buyers only wanted her body. She couldn't stand the harassment and ran back. She is still pure, plus, we offer a 30-day guarantee. Try her out first with a full refund, but once she helps you get revenge, no touching. I glanced at the gorgeous vixen again. Since the shop owner said so, why not? I happily took her home. On the way, I tried to break the ice. What's your name? Lou Ryan. I reached out enthusiastically. I am the fan. From now on, I am your master. I had seen my friends with their those spirits called them master over and over, which sounded amazing. But Leo Ryan just turned her head away coldly. She exuded a powerful aura. I am not like them. Suddenly a chill ran down my spine. I quickly changed my tune, keeping my hand out. Then, let's be friends. She looked down at my hand and scoffed. Do not touch me, or I leave immediately. I grit my teeth. It was just a handshake. Talk about high and mighty. Who knows if you can actually pull off revenge? I scoffed. The boss gave me a 90% discount. Maybe you are just a defective product, and he is planning to run. I wanted to push her buttons, but she remained incredibly calm. She just glanced at me with sheer contempt, mockery, and pure ice. I quickly looked away. Foxes really are naturally seductive. Just looking at her made my heart race. I could barely control myself. When we finally got home, I couldn't help but bring up my revenge. But he just turned and slipped into the bathroom. When he stepped out, wet hair dripping, water droplets traced down his neck and vanished into his chest. My blood turned to fire. I shook my head, fighting the crazy urge to pounce. Then I spat 2 words back at her revenge. She finished blow-drying her hair, sat on the couch, turned on the financial news, and said, I have a 7-day trial period for you. If you can't control yourself and touch me during these 7 days, I'm going back. But if you pass smoothly, I'll let you get your revenge. Man, she is way too confident. But I have to admit, my heart was racing. I swear she'll put a spell on me. She's just too tempting. I follow countless gorgeous influences, but I've never seen a body as voluptuous as Lou Ryan's. It's a sensual yet elegant visual feast. She's a total 10. If only I could get a touch, but I held back for the sake of revenge. Once I'm rich, I can get any woman I want. I walked into the bathroom and stubbornly shot back. Don't worry, I'm not interested in you at all. After my shower, I walked out half naked, drying my hair right in front of her. Honestly, my face and build are top tier for a human. No way I was letting a fox spirit outshine me. But she barely moved, just frowning and saying, you're blocking my view of the TV. Fine. For the next 7 days, we went all out trying to outdo each other. If I went shirtless, she wore my shirt. If I ran in sweatpants, she swam in a bikini. If I did crunches on the balcony, she stretched her waist right next to me. Talk about pure temptation. But when I saw the fox spirit my best buddy bought, I practically drooled with envy. His girl was the real deal. Sure, she was a notch below Lou Ryan in looks, but she was still like here as ahead of any regular woman. My buddy was so hooked he hadn't left his house in days, and couldn't even hang out. While his girl was cooking, my buddy leaned in and whispered, How's yours? Is she any good? Haven't touched her yet? What, are you shy? Let me tell you, these fox spirits are just toys for our amusement. No need to feel guilty about. Just as he said that, the fox spirit was suddenly standing right there, her eyes welling up with tears. Master, am I really just a toy for your amusement? That heartbroken look and pouty tone was straight out of legend. My buddy froze, then awkwardly stood up, stammering, I was just talking big. How could I think that? I really like you. Completely ignoring me, she dove straight into his arms. Then prove it to me. My buddy frantically gestured for me to leave. Fine, I won't play third wheel. Back home, Leo Ryan was still watching the financial news. She sat with her legs casually spread, her loose nightgown doing absolutely nothing to hide her curves. Walking closer, I could trace the line from her chest down to her inner thigh, vanishing into the shadows. A few days ago, I would have rushed to do crunches to pump my ab, But after seeing my buddy's fox spirit, I just wasn't in the mood. What kind of boring, saintly life am I living? Fortunately, tomorrow makes 7 days. She promised me my revenge, and if she backs out I will devour her completely. I am not losing both, just one more night. So, I ignored her. I took a shower, put on some old butt-warm pajamas, and went to bed. But she kept knocking on my door, asking if I wanted fruit or milk. I was trying to sleep and couldn't take it anymore. I threw the door open, pointed at her, and yelled, "Knock again and I'll kiss you." She calmly smiled. "Sure, go ahead and try." Talk about a useless threat, it was like threatening a cotton ball. I slammed the door but tossed and turned, unable to sleep. Around 2 in the morning I heard a strange noise on the balcony. Curious. I looked and saw Lou Ryan working out in yoga wear. Why on earth is she working out in the middle of the night? Just then, my buddy sent me a voice message, his voice completely hoarse. "Hey man, forgot to ask, did you make it home safe?" I'd been home for 3 hours. Did they just finish? I asked, "Does your vixen work out at midnight too?" My buddy quickly sent back to voice messages. "My boss says vixens have really high desires. If they aren't satisfied, they'll work out in the middle of the night to blow off steam. Why don't you just use yours?" He sounded totally whipped again, but his words only added to my growing tension. Seeing Lou Ryan's stunning figure in that tight outfit was pure torture. I felt like I was going to explode. Creeping up to her, I asked, knowing full well the answer, "Miss Lou, what are you doing?" She jumped, startled, but quickly regained her icy composure. "Just exercising." I leaned in closer, bending down to blow gently on her ear. Since our rules only banned physical contact, technically, I wasn't touching her. She stood completely still, but her erratic breathing gave her away. Leaning forward again, I blew warmly against her neck. "Or is it that you just can't sleep?" "Why is that?" "Miss Lou, do you want something?" She froze, finally taking a step back, her ears turning bright red. The fan knew her voice trembled with anger. She shut her mouth quickly, her eyes burning with embarrassment. I raised both hands, smirking in triumph. "Hey, I didn't touch you." Furious, she snatched her clothes off the floor and rushed back to her room. In the light, I noticed her yoga top was completely drenched. Finally, the 7-day trial period was over. First thing in the morning, I burst into her room, yelling at the top of my lungs to wake her up. She opened her eyes slowly, looking thoroughly annoyed and exhausted, as if she hadn't slept a wink. She pulled up a news story on her phone about a billionaire offering $10 million to find his lost dog. "Contact him today." "I'll go find the dog in a bit." I asked skeptically, "Can you really find it?" She shot me a sarcastic glare. I hesitated, too scared to call the billionaire. What if Lou Ryan couldn't find the dog? What if he had a bad temper and ruined my life in a rage? Sia's corporate slaves are always too terrified of taking any risks. We can't even handle a tiny bit of risk. But miraculously, in no time, Lou Ryan brought the dog back. The billionaire was incredibly nice. He hugged his dog tightly and immediately wired $10 million straight to my account. I counted the zeros 10 times to confirm my 8-digit balance. She actually did it. Seductive fox spirit. Total lie. This is literally my personal god of wealth. I swear I will never torment him again. I'm going to pamper him like royalty. The only thing is, he still seems obsessed with competing to see who's hotter. After his shower, he deliberately left his dried underwear right in plain sight, and I eagerly ironed them. After putting them in the closet, he glanced at my conservative, frumpy pajamas and knit his brows. "What? No more ABS? Want to see them?" "Not really," I replied. "Exactly. If Miss Luo doesn't want me to do something, I will never do it." "Well, aren't you considerate?" "Only natural." He smiled, before pulling out what he prepared. Every time he flips through the channels, he never finds anything to watch. He still loves swimming in a bikini, and I just worry he'll catch a cold. Constantly adjusting the AC when he works out on the balcony, I'm always right behind him, handing him a towel to wipe his sweat. For his sake, I even dragged myself into the kitchen to study recipes. I really have to treat this literal god of wealth like royalty. What do you fox spirits even eat anyway? Rabbit's theft, you probably don't touch vegetables. But my cooking skills are non-existent, and I immediately sliced my finger. Staring at that incredibly gorgeous face, a tingling sensation washed through my limbs, making the pain vanish completely. My brain buzzed with excitement. I flinched instinctively, only to see he had already brought a band-aid and was carefully putting it on. My heart was pounding wildly. From behind me, he sighed. "Miss Luo, are you trying to seduce me?" He coldly pushed me out of the kitchen, adding, "My clan's saliva speeds up healing. Don't overthink it." I peeled back the band-aid. The wound had actually shrunk, and the pain was gone. Was this some kind of magic? Lou Ryan tied on his apron and started cooking. I looked away, not daring to stare anymore. That would be a crime. And if he stopped helping me make money, I'd be ruined. I chugged some ice water to calm my nerves, then tentatively asked when he'd help me strike it rich again. A month from now. That was a long wait, but I told him I was happy to do it. Still, living with such a gorgeous creature, how was I going to survive? To avoid being in the same room with him, I decided to start working overtime. Unfortunately, My office desk was just too good at making me sleepy. I drifted off to sleep and had a wonderful dream. I lifted Leo Ryan's shirt and pressed my hand against his chest. It felt like a work of art. I couldn't stop touching it until he suddenly grabbed my wrist with a soft groan. "Haven't you had enough yet?" Then the ground gave way, and the dream I jolted awake, heart pounding. Lou Ryan was actually sitting right there, gripping my wrist. So it wasn't a dream. I really had touched her. Panic surged. I yanked my hand free and scrambled to stand, but my numb leg gave out. As I tumbled forward, she lunged and caught me. My chin still smacked the table, leaving a bloody scrape. Dead inside, I looked in the mirror and confronted the culprit, Lou Ryan, demanding to know what she was doing there. She smirked and said, "If I wasn't here, how would I know that the gentlemanly Mr. The is actually secretly craving my body?" "That was a dream," I protested. "Dreams are always the opposite." "Look," I sighed at the scratch on my chin. Totally ruined my face. His dark eyes locked onto it as he awkwardly mumbled, "I can help." My heart skipped, remembering him coldly licking my wound this morning. I pursed my lips expectantly. He chuckled. "Scared, please." I yanked him close. "I'm just worried you'll chicken out." Without hesitation, he leaned in and gripped my chin. My body stiffened instantly. All my blood rushed to my face, sending a wave of heat straight to my limbs. I held my breath. From my angle, I watched his long eyelashes flutter shut. Why did it feel like he was actually enjoying this? The next day at a party, I was completely checked out. My mind was on replay, looping last night's wild scene. My coworkers noticed I was spacing out. They made me down 3 penalty shots. I drank them all and even poured myself a few more. Totally wasted, I called Lou Ryan to pick me up. He got there fast. Seeing me limp, he rushed over. "What happened to your leg?" Dizzily, I lifted my foot. Not my leg, my foot. "I got caught in a fight at dinner. Back home." He dabbed iodine on the cut, staring at it with a serious look. I blinked, practically buzzing with anticipation. "You're not planning to help me heal again, are you?" He set my foot down and muttered darkly, "In your dreams. Fine. Dream on me." Next, he brought me hangover soup. One sip, and I gagged. Waving my hand to push it away, I hit the bowl too hard, splashing the hot soup right onto his thigh. Panicked, I reached out to wipe it, but he flinched and looked away. My hand froze. Half my buzz vanished instantly. After he changed, I sat obediently on the couch, head down. "I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to," he sighed, pulling me up. "If you just go to sleep, I might forgive you." Watching his gorgeous lips move, the alcohol rushed to my head again. Giving in to the buzz, I lost my last shred of sanity, cupped his face, and kissed him. I wanted more. He froze, chest rising and falling. A faint blush crept onto his cheeks, melting his usual icy stare. His eyes held an emotion I'd never seen before. Panic set in. Was he angry? But the next second he lunged forward, kissing me back with sudden, raw intensity. When I woke up the next morning, my head throbbed and my lips stung when I talked. I shook my head, memories flooding back. I'd held Leo Ryan and kissed him for hours last night. I didn't even know when I passed out. Was I insane? Was my brain just fried? I scrambled out of my room, seeing his silhouette in the kitchen. I finally breathed. Thank God he hadn't left. I checked the mirror. My lip was swollen and split. Grabbed some ice to numb it, then sat on the couch acting totally casual. "Morning." "Morning," he replied, back to his usual icy self. Calmly, he served breakfast. Since he didn't bring up last night, I didn't either. Honestly, I didn't dare to. I was terrified he'd get annoyed and call off our revenge plan. "I'll drive you to work from now on," he said. "Wait. I'm a grown man. Why do I need a ride? Otherwise, you come home injured every day. Do you want me inspecting your whole body?" It sounded incredibly suggestive, making my heart race. Then it hit me. Was I walking so wasn't my foot hurt? I kicked off my shoe. The wound was mostly healed. The pain was gone. Did Lou Ryan go there? But the more I thought, the weirder it got. Didn't he strictly warn me against physical touch? Yet, here I was, woken up by his late-night workout sounds again. Honestly, I was just worried about the neighbors. So I asked, "Can you keep it down? Neighbors might complain." He paused, slowly turning around. Seeing his gorgeous face and pink lips, I looked away, instantly tempted again. But he stood right in front of me, forcing me to look. "There is a way," he murmured softly. He sighed, voice raspy, gaze incredibly intense. "Can I kiss you?" My brain shook. I stammered, "Lou Ryan, you said no physical touch. Why now?" He scoffed. "What I said before doesn't count. Let's make one thing clear. You wanted this, not me craving your body. So, you still have to help me get rich." He lunged forward, burying his face in my neck, teasing my skin. Instinctively, I clung to his shoulders. A smirk flashed in his eyes. "I will." And just like that, we became kissing partners. Every night, we were all over each other. I thought I was finally understanding the hype, but not quite. Whenever things got too hot, he'd pull away instantly, never letting me take the next step. I swear, he was torturing me on purpose. Am I really that unattractive? Refusing to stay passive, I skipped going home and hit a bar. Now that I had money, why obsess over one person? There's a whole garden out there. It was my first time, and I was buzzing with excitement. But when a waiter tried to get close, I flinched away like I'd been shocked. Honestly, I was disappointed. They weren't as hot as Liu Ryan, not as fair-skinned, not as tall, and definitely not as beautiful. The waiter smiled awkwardly. "Do you need anything, handsome?" I thought about it. "Just pour me a drink." The waiter happily obliged. Right then, Liu Ryan burst in. Before I could react, he dragged me out of the booth. His icy aura felt cold enough to put me in a freezer. "Liu Ryan." I struggled, but he spun me around and hugged me tight. His voice sounded hurt. "The fan, am I not enough for you?" I gasped. "You're only here to help with my revenge, not offer your body. Why can't I find someone else?" He pinched my waist, silencing me. The moment we got home, he gripped my chin, hungrily sealing his lips over mine and kissing down my neck. I never realized he was this strong. "Did they touch you?" he growled. "No." His eyes lit up. "Why not?" I wrapped my arms around his neck. "Because they weren't as pretty as you." The moment the words left my mouth, control vanished. We kissed wildly. I expected him to pull away like usual, but then he whispered, "Can I?" My brain Suddenly the shop owner's warning flashed in my head. He only helps with revenge. No sleeping together. I always talked a big game, but now I chickened out. If we did this, what if my fortune got ruined? At the critical second I panicked. "No." I leaped off the couch and bolted to the bathroom. Liu Ryan froze in place. All not. There was only silence. I didn't hear a sound from him. The next day the shop owner messaged me. "The return window is closing. Want a refund?" I gasped. It had already been a month. Time used to drag, but now it felt too fast. I headed to the Fox Den to ask a few questions and get some advice. Seeing me, the owner welcomed me warmly. "Liu Ryan actually hasn't run back yet. That's a first." I cleared my throat awkwardly. "Boss, he said he never sleeps with buyers and hates harassment." "But I pointed to my bitten lip. "Almost bit it off." "He kissed you?" I nodded. "Way more than that." "That's great. It means he's finally acting like a normal fox spirit. Past buyers just wanted a hug and he'd bolt." Hearing that made me happy. "So, even if he gives me his body, it won't affect my revenge plan, right?" The owner waved his hand. "No way. Go try it." Relieved, I left a shop and bought some sexy sleepwear he liked. Since I rejected him, he hadn't spoken a word. I had to make it up to him. He was surprisingly easy to coax. I handed him the clothes and whispered, "We can't today if you still want to." He immediately took my hand and guided it to a zipper. After a wild night, I woke up to a clean room. Steamy memories flashed in my head, until a notification for a $1 million charge dragged me back to reality. No recipient money just vanished. Liu Ryan walked in, saw my pale face, and gently kissed my forehead. "You were amazing last night." I didn't tell him, but I had a bad feeling. To our night together. For 3 days, the charges kept coming. 3 million was gone. Earlier, Liu Ryan took 5 million for investments, leaving me with only 2 million. If this kept up, I'd end up in debt. I rushed back to the Fox Den to confront the boss. "You said it wouldn't affect anything." The boss stammered, looking incredibly guilty. "I didn't expect this. He's the only one in our clan who trained the wrong way. He's totally out of our control. His volatility is too high. Right now, there's only one way to minimize your losses." "What way?" "Return him. Today is the absolute last day of the window. After today, it'll be a massive hassle." I hesitated for 3 seconds. "Return him." I choose the money. Compared to him, I still chose cash. People change. Relationships come and go. But money after filling out the return form. I skipped going home and went straight on a business trip. I was dead silent the whole way, feeling a hollow ache in my chest. I kept reminding myself Liu Ryan was just a tool to help me get rich. I couldn't have both. The trip was out of state. By the time I returned, he'd probably be back at the Fox Den. At the contract celebration dinner, I drank too much to cope. As my coworker helped me out of the restaurant, he suddenly gasped and patted my shoulder. "The fan, check out that beauty." It was Liu Ryan. He had actually tracked me down. Pretending not to see, I looked away and grabbed my coworker's arm. "Let's go." But within seconds, Liu Ryan caught up, grabbing my wrist. My coworker gasped, "Do you know each other?" "No." I struggled, laughing at my own stupidity. I knew how strong his waist there was. No way I'd break free. "The fan. Unless you explain this, I will follow you everywhere." He was right. Running away solved nothing. I set my coworker ahead and stayed behind. He pulled out the return form, clearly signed with my name and stamped with the owner's seal. "What is this?" he asked, voice cold. "Exactly what it looks like." He gripped the paper tightly, pausing for a long moment before speaking. "I'm sorry. I didn't know sleeping with me would drain your wealth. It's not your fault, but I need to cut my losses." "Cut your losses? So to you I'm just an option you can discard any time?" "Yes. You were only hired to make me money anyway. Returning you within the window is completely legal." His body swayed slightly. Taking a half step back, he let out a bitter laugh. "Nothing is wrong. You made the right choice." When my trip ended and I returned home, Liu Ryan was gone. The apartment was freezing. Aside from a few frozen boxes of his homemade dumplings, there was no trace of him left. He knew I loved them, so he'd make them every few days with different, delicious fillings. I once asked him, "How many recipes do you know?" He'd replied, "A lifetime's worth, and I still wouldn't run out." The room had gone dead silent as we both realized how intimate that sounded. A lifetime is a promise for lovers. Did we qualify? Probably not. But that night, I didn't even finish eating before pinning him to the couch, kissing him fiercer than ever. After a few miserable days, I went back to my soul-crushing corporate routine, playing servant to my boss and kissing up to clients. Only when my best friend visited could I be myself. He shook his head. "Something's off with you. You look like you're going through a breakup. Did you actually fall for him?" Thinking of his face, his body, and his cooking, honestly, it was hard not to. What a waste. Why did he train wrong? Hey, why not buy another fox spirit to distract you? I shook my head, deciding to worry about it later. I just wasn't in the mood. But right after my buddy left, my phone buzzed with several bank alerts, each starting at 10 million. I realized today was the day Liu Ryan promised to make me rich. He had taken that 5 million and invested it in 2 short dramas. Both went viral upon release, earning me massive dividends. I had my revenge, but once the excitement faded, a sudden emptiness washed over me. I couldn't help but wonder how Liu Ryan was doing. Did he know about this fortune? If he did, would he regret helping me? Was he bought by someone else after being returned to the Fox Demon Bureau? Would he be with another man? I didn't dare to think. To escape, I traveled first, going abroad, then touring half the country. Within a year, my payouts exceeded 100 million. One day while staying in a new city, I caught a financial news broadcast playing on a massive outdoor screen. The headline read, "The business prodigy who appeared out of nowhere, Liu Ryan." I froze in my tracks, completely. The report described how he burst onto the scene 6 months ago, sending shockwaves through the entire business world. Today, he commands billions, holding the reins of major economic life. Wherever he invests, miracles happen. But beyond his achievements, the broadcast detailed his icy temperament and ruthless methods, having crushed countless corrupt businesses into the dust. At the very end of the report, there was an interview. A reporter asked what kind of people he stared directly into the camera. Even through the screen, his suffocating aura made my chest tight. He said, "I hate people who only love money." Goosebumps immediately covered my arms. Wasn't he talking about me? Was he planning to get revenge? Panicking, I quickly called the owner of the Fox Demon Bureau. He sounded ecstatic, saying, yes, Liu Ryan is a big boss now, the absolute pride of our Fox clan. I anxiously demanded to know what happened. He laughed. What can I say? He is the most unique fox in our history. Before, for our clan to live among humans, we had to serve a human master. But after you returned him, he spent 6 months in the Fox clan purgatory. Now, he can live among humans on his own. The owner then sighed, in purgatory. He endured the pain of having his bones shattered and I don't know how he survived that. Hearing this, I panicked, sold my apartment, changed my number, and booked a flight out of the country. On the way to the airport, a sleek Maybach kept pace with my taxi, but I was too desperate to escape to care. Once I stepped out of the taxi, the bodyguards blocked my path. Behind them stood the owner of the voice I had longed for. Day and night, the person I had kissed, held, and loved. He slid off his sunglasses, asking, "Where are you off to, Mr. The?" My heart sank. I took a couple of quiet steps back, speechless. He looked exactly the same, yet felt like a total stranger. For a moment it felt like a lifetime had passed. Taking a step closer with his hands in his pockets, he casually asked, "Aren't you going to thank me, Mr. The? I made you a fortune, over 100 million. Thank you," I muttered. "Just a verbal thank you, President Lee." I paused, playing along. "However you want me to, thank you. I will." He smirked. "Since you put it that way, I'll have to think about it. Until I decide, you must stay by my side. I can't have you running off on your debt." Strangely enough, I got into his car. As the route grew familiar, I realized we were heading to my old apartment. He had bought it. Life fell into a quiet routine. Aside from his daily commute, his habits were the same. To avoid him, I went back to work and took late shifts, hiding in my room, only coming out to eat. Late at night, I would sometimes catch him working out on the balcony. With his massive wealth, did he still need to blow off steam this way? Slipping closer, I gasped. His skin was covered in deep, horrific scars. They must have been from the purgatory the owner mentioned. They looked so painful. A wave of ache bloomed in my chest. Suddenly, Liu Ryan was standing right in front of me, wearing a teasing smirk. "You still have a habit of peeping, Mr. The..." My throat tightened. Stiffly, I tried to brush it off and look away, my heart pounding. "Have you decided how you want me to thank you yet?" I asked. His eyes darkened. "Are you in a rush?" "A little," I murmured. He looked annoyed, turning and walking back to his room. I didn't see him for 3 days, until his Maybach appeared on a breaking news report about a car crash. It was Liu Ryan's car. My mind went completely blank. I bolted out into the torrential rain. At the crash site, blood mixed with the pouring rain. and the guardrail was mangled. Terrified, my legs gave out, and I collapsed into the mud, sobbing in absolute, helpless despair. Through the crowd, a figure rushed toward me. I blinked through the rain. It was Liu Ryan. He pulled me up, whispering. Someone tried to set me up, but I got out beforehand. I let out a massive breath, only then noticing my clothes were torn and my skin was scraped raw. He helped me into the back seat and checked my injuries. Both my knees were bleeding, and my arms were scratched up. Kneeling on one knee, he leaned down to gently lick my wounds. I flinched, saying, "No, don't. It is dirty." He murmured softly, "We can't let it get infected." It was the first time since his return that he spoke to me so softly. Tears stung my eyes, but I wasn't the only one crying. As he lifted my arm, his own eyes were red. He took a soft breath, looking at me like an adoring puppy. "The fan. Did you panic because you care? Is that why you ran all this way?" I froze. I had not realized how completely I had lost control until now. I finally understood that I had been desperately waiting for him to return. Following my heart, I reached out and gently pulled him close to me. I stroked his hair, and he leaned in closer. "Are you comforting me?" he whispered. "Yes," I replied. "Why?" he asked. "Because you were hurt when I sent you back." He smiled gently. "A little, but I never blamed you, let alone wanted revenge. I dragged you back from the airport to keep you close, by my side." Later, the shower ran and stopped. I took a deep breath and opened the door, immediately pulled into a deep, breathtaking kiss. I lifted him onto my lap, our heat filling every sense. He whispered that I was like a hungry wolf. I leaned down to his ear, growling, dangerous and low. He spoke slowly. "I have decided how you will thank me, the fan. I am going to stay with you for the rest of my life." The next morning I gently stroked the scars on his back, asking if it still hurt. He nodded with a pitiful look. It hurt terribly, but knowing I would see you once I left purgatory made it all worth it. I tapped his forehead, knowing he was just acting cute. Sure enough, his hands began to wander again. "Truly, a fox demon. Only if you call me master," he whispered. "Yes, master, my sweet master." That is the end of the story. Please like and follow for more exciting romance updates.